Good evening. It is Wednesday today. Tomorrow is the last full day of the game jam. And the day after is the last morning of the game jam. Not that there's gonna be much of a morning before the deadline. I am once again very tired, as I'm sure you expect, but I'm feeling a lot better today. I'm not nearly as stressed as I was yesterday. We'll see if that continues to be the case from Ava. No, Ava, what the fuck? Dear Jay, I know this is sudden, but I had to leave the village. I don't know where I'm headed, but don't worry, I'll get by somehow. Thanks for all you've done for me. God damn it. Well, Ava's gone, I guess, but that's just how it goes. Sometimes. So, maybe we'll get someone else who we like just as much as Ava. Never know. What else do we got here? HRA. Okay. Same amount of points. And picnic table. I'm not very concerned about a picnic table. Okay. Let's go check turnip prices and just see what Nook's got today. Oh, there's a lot of stuff here. Cherry shirt, puzzling shirt. Berry umbrella, polka parasol, a jasmine bonsai. That could be interesting. Essay paper. Okay. Well, I want to see what this cherry shirt looks like. Let's see here. That's a cherry shirt. I don't really know what I was expecting. And then this puzzling shirt. Okay. I guess it's supposed to be like a Rubik's Cube or something. Cool. Go ahead and drop that down. Alright. And then the bonsai. I'll take that home with me. Alright, Nook. What do we got going on here? Hello. Let's see what turnip prices are. Other things. Turnip prices? 80 bells. Okay, well, that's not very good. I mean, there's a spaceship that could go with my other space stuff. Sure, I'll take it. Yeah. Mine. Alright. Well, I wonder if the peaches have regrown today. Because if we get those, and then we also get the money rock, I think that would be another 100,000 bells we could put towards the home loan. So I'll have to take a look and see. Alright. And what's this? Fossil. Perfect. Okay. Let's go check it out. Hey, Pippi. Jay, is it possible you're avoiding me? Not avoiding you, Pippi. Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm still... Yeah, Well, it's so yesterday's news. I already got it back, so I don't have a thing for you to do. Bummer for you. Actually, bummer for me, too. I'd wish you'd taken care of it when I asked, but whatever, little hair. Hey, Cherry was nowhere to be seen, okay? Jay, how nice to see you again on such a fine evening, little hair. Anyway, what's up, little hair? Let me help. Oh, hey there. What's up? Say, have you, written any letters? Okay. Alright, Pippi. I get it. You like letters. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so today I got the last enemy fully implemented. Well, technically not fully implemented. When I stopped working for the day, I realized there's still one thing I need to finish up on it. But it won't take that long. It's the elite enemy, which is sort of meant to be like the really difficult one. So we also want it for that enemy, on top of it being really difficult, we want it to be what am I trying to say? We wanted the player attack. Oh my goodness, excuse me. We wanted the player attack for the elite enemy. This is the fucking worst. This tree. Oh my god. Do I have my axe on me? That's not what I wanted. That's a balloon. Axe. There it is. I want to get rid of this tree. This is really bothering me. We want the player attack for the elite to be really good. Can I? Yes, I can just switch it out like that. Or like just really powerful. In combination with the elite being a really dangerous enemy. And then on top of that, so that you can't just, like, the moment you see an elite enemy, just infest it so that it's not a problem anymore, and then you get the really powerful attack it has. You want to make it so you can only infest it when it's, like, low enough on health. So once its health goes below a certain threshold, I forgot to sell these fossils. I need to do that. And then I need to put these away and probably do something with this. Is there anywhere devious I can place this? This, pitfall seed? Oh, come on. So yeah, I've gotten everything with the elite enemy fully implemented. And that was the final enemy to implement as well. So I'm all done implementing enemies, except for the fact that I forgot to add the can't infest until his health is at a certain threshold, which I don't think will be that bad. I just have to figure out what exactly happens when you try to infest him at that threshold. Like, if he... Oh, hey, there you are, Cherry. I've been looking for you, but I don't need you anymore, apparently. And let's check what Acre is complaining about today. C1. Okay, that's a new one. I don't know if he's gonna, like... Oh, with the peach trees. You're serious? There's so many trees there. I mean, I guess I can plant some flowers or something. I don't know if the enemy is gonna, like, physically knock the parasite away at an angle or something, or if the parasite will just fly through it, like, not interact with it at all. Having it not interact with it at all would be the easiest thing. But that doesn't seem like the most fun thing to do. Or the most interesting thing to do, I guess. So we'll see what happens. I want to see what this jasmine bonsai looks like. That's not the exact same thing, is it? It is the exact same thing. Oops. Alright, whatever. Let's drop this space shuttle down here. So I'd really like to be able to have it bounce off, or, like, not necessarily bounce off, but I don't think there will be an animation for it, but kind of having the elite hit you off in, like, a direction would be cool. What am I doing? I'm putting the space shuttle down. There we go. This basement is so bad. This is really bad. Okay, wait, what is... Okay, what's this mini fizzoid here? Let's, That's not one I already have, is it? No, I think that's one in someone else's house. No, that is one I already have. Okay. I can sell it then. I'm not concerned about, not having it. Now I can find a place for this pitfall seed. What if... Now hear me out here. What if... Nope. This'll work. There we go. Perfect. No one would ever suspect a thing. Okay. Let's get this stuff sold, and then we can sell all these peaches. Yeah, so... Now that I've got the last enemy pretty much all done, except for the prevent infesting, which I can probably just finish up after I'm done recording and editing this video, and before I go to bed tonight. The only things I have left to work on, I still have to make any music at all for the game. That's probably going to be the very first thing I work on tomorrow, just to make sure it gets done. Because not having music in the game is just unacceptable to me, personally. So, I am going to absolutely make sure that there's music in the game, even if it means other things might not, you know, like features might not be able to get implemented. I'm more concerned about having music than having extra features at this point, because there's already kind of a lot going on in the game. I have no... I'm not concerned. I have no concerns, I guess is what I was trying to say. I have no concerns that people will be wanting for content in this, especially when they're just going through like all the entries to this game jam and like just playing each one for a few minutes. This has more than enough content in it already to entertain for like however long people typically play a game jam game, when they're just going through messing around with games that have been submitted to a jam. And the further along we get with it, oh, that's the pitfall seed. I immediately forgot. The further along we get with it, the more, when we have people play it, the more I'm noticing, like when I was talking about when we did that first playtest session, and I watched my friends play it, and I noticed like a very genuine excitement from all of them. Or from most of them, at least. Some of them, the game just wasn't for them. But I noticed like a genuine excitement. And the further along we get with the game, the more features and enemies and stuff we add, the more I'm seeing that excitement come through when I'm putting the game in front of people, which is very good to see. I sent a build to the artist just earlier tonight, and he was having a time with the game, not in a bad way. He was being very vocal and very expressive about everything that was like happening to him. He was I've never seen him in such an excitable state, which is cool. It tells me that we've got, you know, something going on here, right? So I'm very happy about that. Seems like whatever we're doing here, it's working out. So I think people will like it, and I'm very excited for people, for it to be finished and for people to start playing it. I'm also very excited to be done with this project. I am so tired, and I am kind of finished, like, working on this game for 10 plus hours straight every day, but I gotta do it even harder tomorrow, so I'm just, you know, really ready to take as, like, full advantage of this final stretch as I can, and then just be done. I'm really glad that I'm feeling better about the game today, though, well, at least, like, at this point. When I woke up today, I was so stressed. I was, like, vibrating. And that only got a little bit worse and worse throughout the day until I had pretty much finished up with the elite enemy, and then realized I had, like, more extra time than I had, like, predicted I would have had, and I could spend some time just chilling out and, like, polishing stuff and like adding in some art assets that I hadn't had a chance to add in yet and stuff, and a little bit of a feature that I wasn't sure I'd be able to have time to add in, a small feature that I wasn't sure I'd be able to have time to add in at all throughout the game jam, and that was such a nice change of pace. I've been going so hard at just constant feature implementation and design for the past, like, 3 or 4 days, just because I know, like, I need to get all this stuff in, and being able to just sit back and, like, you know, literally just like have a change of pace like that, and not worry so much about you know, making sure I get all the enemies done and all that stuff was just so nice. I know that even if I'm not able to fully implement the upgrades and the upgrade system and stuff, just with what we have with the, is it 5 different enemy types? We've got the soldier, the crab, the beefcake, the sniper, and the elite. Yeah, 5 different enemy types that all work in unique ways, have their own unique attacks, and all their own unique player attacks as well. I forgot I was going to, on top of sending out my fossils, I was going to loan, or pay back some of my loan. I'm gonna do that real quick. I know there's like plenty in the game as is with everything I've managed to add, and everything I've managed to polish up, that it's, even if I'm like not able to add anything else to the game, I would be happy with the final product at this point, which is just so nice. So yeah, and I do think that tomorrow I will be able to add in the upgrade system, but we'll see what ends up happening. There's one bug that I'm really hoping I can get figured out tomorrow. It was a bug I thought I'd already fixed, and then it turned out I hadn't. Those are always the worst ones. It's a bug where when you shoot the parasite and it hits a wall, I think I mentioned it before too, occasionally it'll get stuck in the wall. I thought I fixed it, but it turns out I had not, so I'm probably going to end up doing some weird stuff with, like, I guess what I could do is I need to sell the rest of these peaches. I gotta stay on track. I gotta sell these peaches, gotta get this work done. I could take into account, when the parasite hits a wall, I can take into account the direction it was going, and then move the like ground parasite, because there's like a projectile version of the parasite and a ground version of the parasite that you like move around as, whereas the projectile parasite is just meant for like shooting and hitting enemies. And when the projectile parasite like runs like oops, that's not what I wanted. When the projectile parasite, what's the word I'm looking for here? When it reaches like its max amount of time in air, I guess, it's like despawn time, it drops the ground parasite under it and then effectively deletes itself. It doesn't actually delete itself, it just hides itself, because if I had both parasites spawn each other as like they would need to, then that would create a circular dependency, and you can't have those in games. I think I talked about that before too. But yeah, basically the projectile places the ground parasite under it, and then the projectile like makes itself disappear and like removes all control from itself and makes its hitboxes stop looking for collisions and stuff. And so if I can just like take into account the direction the projectile was moving, and then move the ground parasite back along, I almost walked into that, back along that direction a certain distance. Is there anything on the billboard? Free pitfall. No fucking way. Are you serious? I mean, you do you, Maddie. If that's what you want to do, if you want to bury a pitfall seed and have people go find it, more power to you. So, yeah, I don't think that'll be that bad to figure out. Then I also have to make some unique sounds for the crab enemy, but I think that'll be the last of the sound design. Oh my gosh, goodness, my nose. Maybe I'm getting sick because of how much I'm working myself to death on this game jam. Maybe if I want to do some sound design for the upgrade stuff that I'm planning on adding, that might be nice. And if I do that, I could keep it really simple too. I don't need to be like combining multiple sounds together. I can probably just find a sound that'll work and throw it in. Just stuff that can indicate, because we have some like weird plans for how the upgrades and like experience stuff is gonna work in the game, so making sure it's very clear with like audio and visual cues and clues, I guess you could say, is gonna be really important. So because we didn't want to be we didn't want to just copy exactly what Nuclear Throne does with it, where enemies literally just drop experience. And you know, it's like a typical RPG level up system. Once you get enough experience, you level up, and then every time you level up, you get to choose a new mutation. Instead, we wanted to tie it to infesting enemies to encourage even further that the player infests enemies more often. So, is that an igloo? Yeah, it's an igloo. I was like, what the fuck is that? But one concern I had with that was that if we just made it straight up, like every time you infest an enemy, you get X amount of experience. And then once you get like past the level threshold, then you level up. The concern I had with that was that players would then feel pressured to go through and infest every single enemy in a single level, which doesn't sound very fun to me. That's definitely a way you can play. My wife was actually doing that when I added the on death mechanics. She really enjoyed seeing if she could kill every enemy in the level using just the on death effect. So, like just taking enough damage so that she could trigger the on death effect, and then switching to a different body in a strategic location where the explosion would kill some enemies around it, and then just doing the same thing again, taking enough damage to get to the on death threshold, and then switching to another body. And she had a lot of fun with that. That's definitely that is a fun way to play when you want to play that way. I don't want to force everyone to play that way all the time by tying experience to infesting. And so I spoke to one of the other designers, and I was like, hey, so what should we do about this? Because I don't want players to just optimize the fun out of this. And they definitely will if we just tie XP to infesting. And my first thought was that it could be some sort of like timed mechanic as well, where basically it works functionally the same, where every single time you infest an enemy, you gain a little bit of experience, but your experience is constantly draining. And if even if you reach the threshold of like a level up while you're in a level, your experience will continue to drain, and if it drains below that threshold, and then you finish the level below the threshold, then you won't get to level up at all. And so I was like, I don't know, does that even seem fun, or does that just seem obnoxious? And the designer was that I was talking to was like, I mean, I think it would work specifically for a game jam game where it's intended to be more short form, more arcadey. And then he went on to iterate on that idea a little bit further by saying, how about instead of just making it so that you gain upgrades between levels, instead you get to choose the upgrade immediately as you pass that threshold. And so you get the upgrade immediately, but then only if you stay above that threshold, you get to like keep it after the level. And then obviously while you're still in the level, if you fall below the threshold, then you lose the effect of that upgrade. But then if you go back over it after you've already selected it, then you just gain that effect again. You don't get to choose a new one. And I was like, okay, that's more interesting. That creates a little bit more depth on like the same idea I had. The only problem with it I have is that it is more complicated in a way that might not be like immediately intuitive. And I don't really know how to explain it in like in a very concise manner. Because I'm probably either in the game itself, I'll have like a button on the main menu that's says like guide or something, and you click it and it just opens, it switches to another like menu page that just has like a block of text going over, excuse me, the basic like all the movement controls, the like just all the controls in the game, and then explaining the on infest and on death mechanics very briefly. I really want to avoid making that a gigantic wall of text, especially because I really like designing games where they're like so like they control so simply, not like they don't have depth, but they control very simply and just in very natural and intuitive ways where tutorials are almost superfluous in a way. And so having a mechanic like that where like the on death and on infest mechanics, you can kind of intuit pretty easily, especially from the character select screen. It's like you have one type of parasite here. It says on infest, shotgun blast, and on death, explode. I think it just says explode. Explode. And so immediately you get the idea of like assuming someone goes into the game understanding it's a game where you play as a parasite and you get to infest enemies and take control of those enemies. They'll immediately understand the on-infest mechanic at the very least. The on-death mechanic is a little bit more complicated, but the way we've got the UI set up, I've actually had... when I was playtesting this with my friends, I hadn't explained to them what the on-infest and on-death mechanics were, and just from that character select screen and some of the UI stuff we have going on in game, they were able to pick it up like without problem, which I was really surprised about. I kind of thought they were going to be confused about it, but I think it's like the gameplay is so quick. And that combined with like we have some unique stuff going on with the UI that's saying like, hey, there's something involved with this health bar here that you can kind of mess around and see, okay, the on death mechanic isn't triggering. Okay, now it has triggered. Okay, I see the health bar. I should probably explain the UI stuff. I'm just talking about UI stuff we have. We have a health bar in the top left corner of the screen. It has a number on it that shows like how much health you have out of the max amount of health you currently have, and then there's like a green bar under that indicates the that is the health bar itself that goes down when you take damage. And then on top of that green bar we have a little just a little overlay that it's just like a little transparent thing that extends a little bit into the health bar itself. And basically what that is that shows you the threshold your health has to be at for the on death mechanic to trigger when you jump out of an enemy. And so I think it's just that the gameplay is so quick and people can see that when they jump out of an enemy, the on death mechanic sometimes triggers, but not always. And then they look at the health bar and they see this like unique looking UI element that's very clearly indicating something that happens at a specific threshold. And when the health bar goes below that threshold, it turns red, and the number itself turns red as well. And through, you know, fast gameplay and clever UI, if I do say so myself, I guess, people are able to pick up a more complicated mechanic, such as the on-death mechanic, pretty quickly. I don't know how to do that for the upgrade mechanic, the more complicated upgrade mechanic that we're considering. I don't even know if it's really possible. Because I just imagine a situation where someone chooses an upgrade and then the XP bar goes below the level and they lose it, but they haven't noticed that the XP bar has gone below the level threshold, and they just get immediately disoriented and confused as to what's going on. And that's something, that like disorientation and confusion is something I always want to avoid as much as possible in the games I make. And so I don't know. We'll have to see. And we don't have that much time for testing and QA. So what I'll probably do is, granted I have time to implement it tomorrow, is implement the more basic version of it first. And then if I still have time after that, and we have time for testing as well, then I'll implement the more complicated version. And our artist actually has said, hey, I'm totally good being on standby for QA anytime tomorrow and tomorrow night. He stays up really late, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I don't think either me or the other designer have explained to him our ideas for the upgrade mechanics and systems. So I might have him be my guinea pig for like whether or not I can make that mechanic intuitive, but we'll have to see. But I want to edit this video and go to bed after I add the thing to the elite, which I already almost forgot about. So I'm gonna stop talking here. It's already been 40 minutes, so I will see you tomorrow.